Rwandan Genocide. Over the course of a mere 100 days, the small country of Rwanda got to experience just about every single war crime possible 1,000 times. Rwanda was a kingdom set in a green, fertile land of many, many hills. It existed since... well, actually, that's a tough question. The history of Rwanda is so obscure and so undefined that even the origin of its two ethnicities, the Hutu and the Tutsi, is unclear. I'm going to offer you a theory, but feel free to disagree. The Hutu and Tutsi are not really two distinct ethnic groups. They're very similar genetically, culturally, linguistically, and etc. Tutsi simply meant noble and Hutu peasant. It was a kingdom after all. The minority Tutsi held the lands and owned the cattle. The majority Hutu would work it. Their differences came from lifestyle, even the physical differences. Taller stature and fairer skin is a luxury that comes from an easier life. In the 1890s, the German Empire would claim Rwanda as part of German East Africa. They believed the Tutsi and Hutu to be races, and Tutsi the clearly superior one. Given this, the Germans enforced rule through the Tutsi. The king, Mwami, was a mere puppet of colonial officials. Rwanda was given to Belgium after World War I and incorporated into Rwanda-Burundi, and under the Belgians the race rhetoric was turned up to 11. Skulls, noses, height and all things measured, compared and recorded to tell Tutsi from Hutu. Once a conclusion was made, their ethnicity was printed onto an identity card. The Hutu were pushed into forced labour to harvest coffee for the Belgians. The brutal and all too fatal work was overseen by the Tutsi enforcers, and for this, they were awarded their privileged status. The Tutsi were preferred in education, housing and work, and segregation was present in all these things. The Second World War would see a shift. The United Nations took over control of the colony and the Belgians were now under instruction to prepare it for independence and majority rule. Majority rule would mean Hutu rule, and so the Belgians suddenly switched their favour to the Hutu. Sudden promotions of emancipation, equality and democracy left the Tutsi and the Hutu in a tense standoff. The Tutsi feared reprisal, and the Hutu wanted it. In the 1950s, an independent Rwanda was inevitable, but what kind of Rwanda would this be? Hutu and Tutsi political parties formed, such as Parmehutu and UNAR, one offering a Hutu-dominated republic, and the other, the existing Tutsi monarchy. Rwanda was ready to explode, and when rumours spread that Tutsi were killing Hutu, it did. November 1959 saw the Hutu break out in riot, arson and looting. The Tutsi were quickly victimised and the Mwami proposed a counterattack. A Belgian military intervention was almost immediate, however. The Mwami's plans were ceased as the Belgians took back control. The Belgians decided to mediate elections and a referendum for 1961. A vote that would decide Rwanda's future. The Hutu voted overwhelmingly for their republic, so given this and the ongoing anti-Tutsi violence, the Mwami and over 300,000 Tutsi entered exile. Rwanda-Urundi broke apart into Rwanda and Burundi in '62, and the Tutsi refugees found themselves in Burundi or up north in Uganda. Those in Uganda fought several skirmishes with the new Rwandan Armed Forces, the FAR. With this excuse, Tutsi discrimination was quickly ushered into the Republic under the guise of cracking down on rebel activity. Burundi was a stark contrast to Rwanda. Burundi saw a Tutsi military government ruling over a Hutu majority, and in '72 that country's strife dissolved into a genocide that killed 200,000 mostly educated and political Hutu. Hutu feared Tutsi and Tutsi feared Hutu, and as we all know from Yoda, fear leads to anger, anger leads to etc.